So I'm sure it's been a roller coaster ride in building your business,
100%.
especially usually the first few years. How many years have you been in business for?
Will be our 12th year this April.
Wow, that's so amazing. So during the building process, what was maybe a personal mantra that you had, and maybe speak to the entrepreneurs who may be listening, or, the business owners who are struggling right now and trying to get their footing? What would you say to them, and what is a personal mantra that helped you get through that time?
I rather fail than assume. And
Hmm.
I say that all the time because you sit in meetings and people just assume things and they assume things. And I'm always like, why do we assume? Why do we assume? Why don't we look at the data? Why don't we try? I'd rather fail. People are so afraid of something not working out. I don't give a crap's ass about not working. I rather try than fail than just assume and say, well, that's not a good idea. Or that's it. One of my guys, Casey, just came to us with a great idea the other day, right? And someone said something. I said to him, I'd rather fail and try it than assume. And we're actually taking
Wow.
his idea and we're rolling it out to try it. So that's what you have to do, in my opinion. You've got to be willing to fail. You got to be willing to try. I think when you assume things, and so many people assume, they trust their gut, they try and they'll give you all the reasons why they're so smart. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I got 15 years of education. Take that, throw it out the window. Like, come on, man.
Hmm.
Like, none of that matters. You've got to be willing to try, and you got to be willing to fail.
I love that, especially right now, because, what you're saying about throwing preconceived ideas out the window, I think that's also what's happening right now as a country and individuals as a whole. Is a lot of ways when securities and freedoms are taken away from you, you have to get back to the basics, and you have to really think more about what are my strengths and what do I believe at my core, and how can I make this happen, not looking at the limitations.
Absolutely.
Bit more perspective about what makes your business unique, and some tips you could provide for people, as well as maybe some common mistakes you've seen.
Well, I think when people are business owners, they overthink. I say it all the time, analysis by paralysis, and they try and do everything. Like if I showed you my DM and my inboxes on social media and LinkedIn, people asking me questions, and I post them. Sometimes I answer them every week on the top three, and we're actually going to start changing how we answer them, but that's another whole point. You got to just start. You got to go. You got to do something. Whether it's just start posting on Facebook, or you start posting on Instagram, whether you just start doing on-page SEO, if you start link building, you start blogging, you start doing videos, you got to start somewhere. People are so afraid just to start because they're afraid of failure, or they're afraid of, I don't know where to start. And they say, I got all this to do. Okay, that's great. Write it down, prioritize it, and just start plucking off one by one, right? So I'm a true believer in that for every brand. I do believe when you said reputation, the world's a very small place with the internet. And
Mm-hmm.
you are a representation of your brand, so are all your employees. And I say that all the time, and I preach that all the time. And that's it. You're not going to have people go look at almost every company out there on Glassdoor. You have people smashing them, right? Their employees. That's just a new thing to do. I worked for a company. I didn't like the CEO. You might never even talk to the CEO, but you know what? I didn't like him, so I'm going to smash them. And that's your prerogative. I always say, go look at what the customers are saying. Go look at what the happy customers are saying. Then go look at what the happy employees are saying. Go look at, because you got to remember, it's a lot harder to get a positive review than a negative review.
Right.
People love, just go watch Facebook and Instagram and see all the smashing and trolling and fighting. People love to smash people. So if you've got people that are praising an organization in any way, I would give that a little bit more validation than I would the negative.
Right.
But you protect your brand. For a small business, I always tell people, if you're an owner and you're involved, for not to take the front seat. And even though I don't run my business, my sister Jo Lim runs my business, CJ runs my business. I still am the front person, heavily involved with the day-to-day stuff, doing things like this, social media, as you saw, a lot
Right.
of other stuff, because I'm letting people know we do know digital marketing here. That's a fact. We're one of the best in the country at digital marketing.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. And I love what you said about just getting out there and doing it, but also keeping in mind the impression that you're putting out there. It's important to have that consistency. What are some common mistakes that you see people make when it comes to their digital marketing presence?
I don't think people start with a good strategy. They don't even think about strategy. They start painting against the wall. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to work. Number two, they don't track anything. They're not looking at their analytics. They're not looking at their data. They're not looking to see what content people are engaging with, where the leads are coming from, where people are buying through the e-commerce funnel. They're not looking at the funnel system. And number three, truthfully, I think people start and they quit fast. And the biggest one, I think, the biggest mistake is people want instant gratification, right, with marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got now Tinder, Grindr, Uber Eats, you got Airbnb, you got everything at the tip of your finger in a moment, Amazon, Instacart, everything you can think of, quick. Well, building a brand and building a company and building a digital marketing or building whatever you're building, whether it be an HVAC and e-commerce, J.G. Wentworth's our client, it doesn't matter what brand you're building, it takes time and it gets better. And I always tell people, it's like a steamboat. Once it gets going, it gets bigger and bigger and faster, but everybody wants to start at the top of the mountain, which it just doesn't happen that fast. So that's probably the biggest mistake I see people say. They just try and get it done. They want instant gratification. It doesn't work.
Or they get discouraged too soon. I remember watching Gary Vaynerchuk's, I'm sure you've seen maybe some of his earlier episodes, and he tells people, you may only get a few views in the beginning. Don't let that discourage you. Just stay consistent.
It's funny you say that. So if you go look at the Lion's Den, and we started that, or we had really not many views at all, and on the Lion's Den, because it branched out from one SEO. So my own social media has a very big impact, a lot of stuff, right? So if I said we're going to come with the concept Lion's Den, there's a lot of reasons why we named it Lion's Den.
Tell me, I'm curious.
My personality, right? I truly believe, and I've always said this, your mental like being mentally strong and outworking people, and you can't break me, will do a lot. And you think about this, the lion, which I love the lions, my favorite creature, is he's not the strongest in the jungle, right? You got the gorilla, right? You got the elephant, a lot stronger animals in the jungle than the lion, right? Then you have people that are faster, right? You got the cheetah, you got other things that are faster, right?
Right.
Than the lion. But he is considered the king of the jungle, the most ferocious, because you know what you're getting with the lion. So we didn't get many views on the lion. Now, sometimes on the Lion's Den, we get 100,000, 200,000 views between all the platforms. And if you think about that, and it's just growing, and we're still tweaking it. Looking from episode 1 to I think we're at like episode 50 or something right now. In case you would know, it's getting better. It's all coming better. And the first Lion's Den was done with a background like you right now, sitting on a couch with me.
Exactly.
No captions, no nothing.
Right.
We're just figuring, and that's where I say to people, like, but I never looked at, oh, we're not getting many views, we're not doing this, we're not getting many leads. But then if you look at, where I'm at now, people always ask me, how you verified on Instagram? How you verified on Facebook? There's a reason why, because I don't look at the instant gratification of the metric you're looking at.
That makes sense. And to tie it back to your background and your past and how you had to stay consistent and believe the best and hope for the best, regardless of what was happening in your present. I'm a firm believer that when people come from a difficult background, they become they have the ability to become strong leaders, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Yeah, but like, use the word hope that this will work out. I swear to God, I've never used that. I know it's going to if I just keep doing what I'm doing.
I love that.
Like, it's just, I've never thought like this isn't, if we keep doing what we're doing, we're doing the right things and we're producing the right things and we keep going strong, it's going to work out. The reason people don't realize, they normally wind up quitting. I say to my sons all the time in wrestling, the first person that quits on that match loses 99% of the time. And I'm not saying quit and lays on his back and gets pinned, meaning you stop fighting for the takedown. You stop fighting for the reversal, because that's what life's about. If you don't quit, it's normally going to work out for you.